What's good, yo? We back RTTV.
You know what it is, son.
We have another episode of That Settles It podcast here, and we came up with a new topic today. You know, we have a lot of niggas that cover different fields here. You know, we cover music.
Yep.
We cover fighting movies. We cover live action shows, cartoons, and we cover anime. But today we're going to cover cartoons versus anime.
Oh, dangerous.
Because I want to know. And I'm speaking to you, cartoon maniac.
Damn.
Dude, what it do? It's a maniac. Maniac mob. Shout out to the maniac mob if you listening. You know what I'm saying? Or if you watching. Gang.
I just want to know what the RTTV gang, what do we prefer? Why? You know, what do we like more? Cartoons, animes. Give some reasons why and stuff. And I know this is going to be a big debate because I know a lot of people feel strongly here about each one. So I'm gonna just set it off. I just want to hear everybody what they're picking, and then we'll start to hear how we're gonna combat each other's points and stuff like that. So I'm gonna just say anime is way better than cartoons. I'm gonna just start like that. I want to hear what y'all gotta say.
Yo, Jerry's hurting right now. Just
I don't know why I would be hurted by somebody's opinion, but especially
we just had this conversation. You right, Jerry?
When he calls himself the anime king, I would expect him to say that. That's exactly.
Are you saying he's not the anime king? He just calls himself that?
No, that's what you said.
No, I was trying to make sure. I got you.
He's the alleged king.
Well, how about this, Jerry?
Well,
Fuck cartoons.
Oh shit.
Them shit is trash.
cartoons.
And animes is way better.
Nah.
Wow.
I definitely gravitate to cartoons more because of I could sit down and just watch a series of whether it's cartoons that I've watched back in the day when I was growing up, older cartoons now. There's some new cartoons that I've been watching. I've been watching I'm not gonna hold you. I've been watching Show the Opposites. I've been watching High School USA. High School USA is hilarious. But and there's different things. There's different things that cartoons just have that just be things like shows like The Regular Show and Adventure Time that you'd be like, okay, this was made for this. Apparently, this was made for children, but you could see the adult perspective from it. You know what I'm saying? And the stupidity and the satire just makes it enjoyable to me. You know what I'm saying? And even some of the action cartoons even some of the action cartoons that I grew up on, like Young Justice, what you would call it, The Boondocks, Avatar, you know what I'm saying? Those shows to me were great with just Avatar was great with story, and Boondocks was just great with making certain things bringing reality to animation and just making fun of it and just pointing out how stupid some of the things that we do in life is. You know what I'm saying? Just in general. But yeah, I'm a cartoon man. That's me.
That's my problem though. That's I feel like with cartoons, it's a staple in time for children. I feel like at that time, my stage in my life, I needed those cartoons because those cartoons, just when we watch Avatar and a lot of these shows, they always have that message. But then they'll have the comedy that fits for a kid, the violence that fits for a kid. But anime, and I'm not gonna hold you. This is now being an adult noticing it, bro. You gotta understand. I feel like anime, the story itself is. Where can you find a story like Attack on Titan, fucking Death Note?
Not in cartoons.
You can't. I never found a cartoon personally. I never found a cartoon that comes close to the Full Metal Alchemist, the Hunter x Hunters when it comes to stories. You feel me? It's a mature level to it that you're not gonna find within cartoons, and that's my issue with cartoons.
I disagree with that. With the storyline, I will give it to you. Anime does have great storylines consistently. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, with certain cartoons, for example, the Boondocks, that show. It's not about the storyline. It's about the message that it's portraying, and
that's my point.
About I like to see that message portrayed and be yo, and kind of laugh at the things because even shows like Family Guy kind of do it sometimes too.
But that's still childish to me too.
I don't think it's childish though because it's this is me. I don't think it's childish because it's yo. at the same time, they're making fun of the things that we do, like every single day as individuals. But then sometimes it makes you think, like, oh snap, like wow.
You ran from it though, because I said like you can't find an Attack on Titan cartoon.
And I got something to say too, because I feel like a lot of the shows you emphasized on. Let's talk about like Boondocks and Avatar. Like we can't say that those shits ain't inspired by anime. Like even the art style in the Boondocks, a lot of the fights they incorporate that's definitely inspired by anime. And then Avatar: The Last Airbender, bro, is desperately trying to be an anime. Like niggas can't wait to call it. Yo,
they're hopping like this.
Yeah, like I'm an anime. Like you know what I'm saying? And that's my problem too, cause one, like cartoons that I enjoy the most, one, they're inspired by anime, like I said, and two, sometimes the cartoons, like Patrick was saying, a lot of the times are too kiddish. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to find a cartoon, you know, there is some give or take that could cater to an older audience. I feel like in an American cartoon is either it's an adult cartoon or it's a really kid cartoon, and there's no in between, where I feel like an anime, they don't really care about who's watching, and that's why they gives them the freedom to create a story, any story they really want.
Well, I can say a show like Young Justice isn't like something that has a great storyline, an amazing storyline that has you like, oh shit, wow, this just happened. You know what I'm saying? It throws you off guard, and it's something that could relate to adults too, because of a lot of adults did and still do rock with Young Justice, right? Even now with the newer season that came out, it's way more. What's the word I want to use? It's way more like gore. It's way more graphic than it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because it's on a different platform, and now they're able to do that. They were able to make the story a little bit more darker. And another thing I'm even gonna bring into that, because we're talking about cartoons, I'm gonna even bring into like some of the animated movies that I've been seeing, like that DC has given us, that even Mortal Kombat, that last Mortal Kombat, like all these different movies, they're starting to make these animations, right, with these different storylines and expressing it more within the movie aspect of it, with the exception of Young Justice. Even Harley Quinn, like Harley Quinn is comedy, but there's still a story behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's still like, it's still a good enough story to be like, yo, I can sit here and watch a story. Granted, there's a lot of humor, there's a lot of comedy, but there's also action too. You know what I'm saying? There's also adventure too. There's also different experiences that you can learn from. So it's like, even with that, and even seeing it within movies, like, and with TV shows, and even with TV shows, I'm not gonna lie to you, was Avatar and the Boondocks inspired by anime? Absolutely. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna hold you.
Yo, alright. Let me just get into this, because niggas is being soft out here. Like, let's really get this debate popping. First off, I'm rolling with cartoons, and no, cartoons inspired anime. Like, let's go from the beginning of time. Okay. And first off, let's get it correct. We're arguing with fans of anime. At least with cartoons, I know how to read the language, speak the language. I am the language. With you guys, do you even know how to speak the language? So let me just talk, please. Let me just talk at the start. This guy over here, he's always been like that. I know this nigga my whole life, yo. He's always been that type. Like, yo, Nas, come through. Like, my nigga, what did you grow up on? Did you grow up on anime as from 1 to 12, or did you grow up on cartoons? What was your first love? What was your first inspirations? Ooh. Then let's talk about Spider-Man, the animation series, classic. X-Men, the animated series. Classic. Young Justice, Superman, Batman.
Batman Beyond.
Green Lantern is better than Fairy Tail. Like, you know how much crazy shows there are out there? And then if we're going to talk about impact, inspiration, at least with cartoons, they gave... The thing is, Marvel, all that cool. We have adult cartoons. That's cool. We have Fairy Odd Parents. That's cool. We have Blue's Clues. That's... Because all that's into it. Dora the Explorer. Like, what did people grow up on? Anime is inspired by cartoons. And at the end of the day, what is a bigger business? What is generating more money? If you want to talk numbers, you want to talk awards, and more inspiration, the biggest impact, these cartoons have transitioned into movies, billion-dollar movies, billion-dollar franchises, action figures, clothing. My nigga. Oh, you have an
and another thing too, kind of piggybacking off of what Rob said. Like one of the biggest things, documentaries that we watched was The Toys That Made Us. Like one of the biggest things and cartoons, biggest franchise to come out of The Toys That Made Us, that is an animation, is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is not anime inspired. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is huge, my nigga. It is huge till this day. For decades, it's been running shit for decades, and till now, people are still tuning in to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. People still have that nostalgia from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know what I'm saying?
Let's run down some names. Rugrats, Doug. Hey Arnold, because the thing is SpongeBob SquarePants.
I don't watch none of that shit.
But the majority of the world watches that shit.
I'm talking about right now.
I can't wait for that point to be over.
Yeah, I'm talking about right now at this moment that anime is fucking running shit right now, bro. That's what I'm saying.
How do you know that for a fact? Do you have the stats to back this up?
Yo, I'm talking right now, right?
Yeah.
We can all assume, we can all agree, right, that right now there's this huge surge of anime fans. Right now, I've been seeing way more women, children, adults tuning into anime right now. Now more than ever.
Name me one anime that's bigger than Rick and Morty right now, other than Dragon Ball Z.
Naruto,
Not yet.
One Piece.
Pokemon.
Right stop.
You said bigger.
He said right now in 2020, none of those are bigger than it right now.
You're tripping. No, you're tripping. You're tripping. Naruto is still part of Boruto world, so yes, it is a lot bigger than Rick and Morty. So is Pokemon. New Pokemon.
Boruto. Right now, you think
Boruto is part of the regime of Naruto?
Yes.
That's a part of the regime of Naruto.
Yo, but Boruto episodes coming out now is bigger than Rick and Morty. Are you guys confirmed about that?
I'm 100% sure it is bigger. You can look it up. Yes, Boruto is bigger, but we have manga episodes that still come out for Boruto. They have theme parks for Naruto, which is still part of the Boruto world. We had this movie still coming out for Boruto.
And Rick and Morty, bro. Rick and Morty generates. Do you know the attraction Rick and Morty generates,
bro? It's easy for you to say that because you live here, but around the world, I would guarantee Boruto, which is a power Naruto, whether you watch it or not, you will know Boruto over Rick and Morty around the world. I promise you.
That's like saying the WWE Attitude Era is still part of WWE now. That's in all long-term years. But if we talk about what's been coming out in 2020, what Patrick stated, he said this year, if we talking about right now, 2020 from January to
bro, I think Demon Slayer is bigger. Attack on Titan is bigger than fucking Rick and Morty.
2020 year that you said.
This year, Attack on Titan
is dropping this year. So that's what I'm saying.
The hype of Attack. We just seen the trailer, bro. We just seen the
trailer is bigger than the 5-6 episodes.
Yo, the hype of it from fucking the last season leading to now.
Wait. How can you say
the overall?
I think so. Bigger than the whole.
How can you say?
We're talking about the brand. We're talking about the brand of what it is right now.
How you talking about the brand when you literally stated? I said, "Are we talking about the brand?" You said, "No, I'm talking about you literally in 2020
right now. 2020."
Like you said, I'm rewording what you said right now.
So wait, so because of the fact that right now Attack on Titan hasn't dropped their season,
yes, you can base it off of that because that's how you base. I don't agree. Because that's how you base. You base.
Anticipation. The anticipation.
Attack on Titan is still bigger than Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
My Hero Academia is still bigger than Rick and Morty. One Piece is still bigger than Rick and Morty. Pokemon is still bigger than Rick and Morty. That's 4 I just named that's still going on now. That's way bigger than Rick and Morty. If Rick and Morty is in your fence, my niggas, you lost.
Yeah, Rick and Morty. That's something. Why are you saying
Rick and Morty? No.
I was talking. You guys are switching the whole conversation when your nigga said this year. I only brought up Rick and Morty.
But we're talking. He just named 4 things.
At the end of the day, yo, let's compare it to music. This year. Yeah, Kendrick Lamar, Little Baby. It's not Kendrick Lamar, not bigger than Little Baby.
Correct.
But who has a bigger year in 2020? That's been dropping actually. Little Baby or Kendrick Lamar. And that's what I'm saying. Rick and Morty actually dropped 2020. All the shows you named didn't even drop this year. I said Boruto.
My Hero.
No. My Hero definitely dropped this year.
About My Hero.
You said Attack on Titan and you said Boruto. That's the only name.
Boruto still comes out. Boruto still drops this year.
One Piece still drops.
I named My Hero right now too.
Okay.
Yo, you know we're all arguing about this because I had a point that's wrong doesn't mean that he's wrong. He actually named other shows. Okay, I said Attack on Titan. Granted, Attack on Titan may be wrong. Okay, cool.
And Attack on Titan still comes out.
Anticipation is still bigger than what Rick and Morty is.
You don't know that. Actually,
we've seen the impact of the fucking trailer.
I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know that. And I know they don't know that either.
Yo, it's easy. All you gotta do is go to RTTV, right, and look at our reactions for each. And we see which one does a lot more than Rick and Morty. Morty.
Joel better drop a bomb
Yo,
on this
it's like-
podcast right now.
Not to do it.
It does. We cover cartoons and we cover anime.
The way you say what's bigger is who's getting more viewership. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah,
so who's getting more viewers each episode? And you guys know.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing.
I
got stats on Rick and Morty right now, but let's Here's the thing too. Let's not act like because I didn't see this with all these animes that you said. I haven't seen this. Rick and Morty ran Comic-Con, my nigga. Like there was like Rick and Morty. That line to get a signature from Justin Roiland was crazy. That was the craziest line in Comic-Con. We're not gonna act like that wasn't a thing. We're not gonna act like that wasn't a thing.
It was a thing. It was a thing, Jerry. But we stood in that line, so we kind of amped it up. But you can't say there wasn't more. You can't say
Rick and Morty wasn't
but I'm not gonna
line,
say that because there was a long line for Justin Roiland, who's responsible for making other shows too, not just Rick and Morty. That's why Rick and Morty is the biggest show. Ooh. And that when we went to Comic-Con, that was when we lived in Rhode Island.
And
so
that's geographical too.
2017, 2018. We're not even talking 2020. So I really don't think that's
even
a
so.
good
My point is being that I've never seen any of those shows run Comic-Con, yo.
And like, how many people do you think overseas really watch Rick and Morty?
That's all I'm about to say. It's like, yo, that's geographical because just because at that Comic-Con at that area like they had a crazy line doesn't mean that around the world.
I want to see the statistics on it because it says, okay, Rick and Morty season 4 premiere dropped November 10th, and it has also so far earned the biggest Sunday audience and demographic ratings for season 4 episode so far. 2.3 million people tuned in to watch a holograph and watch versions of Rick and Morty, and a 1.2 demo rating with adults age 18 to 49. The greatest news possible for season 4 premiere that it won over all the scripted cable programs on that Sunday night, even beating out The Walking Dead for the top spot. That's Rick and Morty. Now I just want to pull up. I really want to pull up like the numbers for the animes that you guys are saying. Like let's just pull up those numbers. Yeah,
because at the end of the day, I'm like, we really just speaking like we ain't got the Looney Tunes. Like it's certain classic cartoons. It's like to me it's just like it's definitely what's hipper. Anime, it's hipper, cool. But what's bigger? I think there's a difference between being the cool guy and being the big guy. I mean, being the most being a cool guy and being the most popular guy. I think there's a big difference. You could be cool for a moment, but we're gonna always be big continuously.
And the thing about it is a lot of these cartoons that have come from years like the 80s, like a lot of these cartoons, we're still seeing recreations and reincarnations of them, and they're still holding that nostalgia. They just dropped the new Looney Tunes on HBO Max. You know what I'm saying? They have a new Ninja Turtles on Nickelodeon. You know what I'm saying? Like we're seeing this for so many different cartoons. You know what I'm saying? Incorporating Disney and Mickey Mouse and certain things. You know, we see this all the time with cartoons with this nostalgia, and we can't even.
I really can't believe that you guys think cartoons is better. I mean, I can't argue.
The impact is bigger for cartoons. I will agree with that, but I feel like the overall. But I feel like
why are you on that side?
No, I'm saying I'm saying anime to me, like the actual like genre, the art of it is better. Like even when we talk about the actual visualization of anime, I don't see a lot of these cartoons competing with these. Like Demon Slayer is as big as it is because right now visually you're not finding shit like that in other places. Fire Force, like all these animations are so groundbreaking, and it's like when I watch cartoons, that's why I really fell off of cartoons, because like I'll look at the crispiness of anime compared to cartoons, and it's not the same level. Personally speaking,
it's really on some goofy shit, bro. Like I'm watching, like I can't. Back to when Robbie was talking about, I was like, yo, you grew up on cartoons, this and that. I can't control. I grew up in the United States.
Yeah,
that's the shit that I grew up on. I didn't have, we really didn't have access to anime or stuff that was coming out in Japan until a transition. And when we did, we all know. Besides minus Evan, because I know he didn't watch Dragon Ball Z, but we know when Dragon Ball Z was introduced into America, we knew what the fuck we was watching over everything.
I wasn't even an anime fan, so obviously in this podcast, I probably would speak the least, because I feel like I know the least, especially on the anime side. But one thing I can say about anime,
for cartoons, my nigga,
I can speak on both. Like what I can tell you is I agree a lot with what Pat said. Like I was never the biggest cartoon fan, but as a kid, it was essential. Like, I watched SpongeBob, I watched Doug, I watched Cat Dog, I watched things in the morning. I did that while I ate cereal, like everybody else did. But I can say now, since y'all seen, I'm doing Death Note. I've watched some of One Piece. I just started Attack on Titan. And I can say that I think a lot of the themes and a lot of the storylines are more mature. At least for me. Now, I haven't watched every anime, nor have I watched every cartoon. So I'm super ignorant in that. But I can say that, like, I think in anime in general, one thing I can confirm is that it is much huger than it's ever been. Like, I feel like before people used to watch it, but maybe they didn't show it. Now I feel like I see people watching anime every day, all over IG story, all that stuff, which I personally...
and all, like, cartoons is just everybody has a cartoon for themselves. There's not anime for everybody. It's a cartoon.
You think so?
I think there's definitely anime.
You can't really say that. Wait, is there anime for 4-year-olds? Hold on. We literally created. There's cartoons literally made.
We don't know that.
Yeah, I feel like
that's why I just asked.
No, I feel like
that's fair. No, the thing is, I wouldn't never say that. Yo, there's not an anime for everybody if I don't know all the anime.
And just like you said, there's no cartoons that is mature. You don't know every cartoon.
I said based on what I've seen.
And based on what I've seen.
You
literally are contradicting yourself because I just let you say what you said, and I'm saying the same exact thing for me.
You said it doesn't exist though.
And you said that what?
I didn't say it doesn't exist. I never said no. There is a cartoon that doesn't exist.
That's cool. We both don't know. He doesn't know if there's cartoons that's mature. There are cartoons that's mature. Did you watch all Young Justice? Did you watch Spawn, the animated series?
Hold up.
I watched Young Justice. Yeah, I didn't watch
all. And I seen them. I feel like you can speak on Young Justice.
I didn't say I watched all Young Justice. I said I've watched Young Justice, and I seen that as some grown. But yo, we can all agree that within Young Justice, even though there was a lot of dark moments, there was a lot of childish moments.
I can't take what you say. You have not watched enough Young Justice. No.
Wait.
It doesn't ever tell you something about anime.
That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. What are you talking about?
Patrick, how many episodes did you watch?
We watched like 2 seasons, no?
No, we did not. We watched like 2
seasons.
We didn't.
We did not finish.
We did not finish. Guys, we did not finish the first season of Young Justice. We did not finish the first season of Young Justice. We did not finish the first season of Young Justice.
That's crazy.
But
that does.
How many episodes have you watched?
That's fucking ridiculous.
I don't want the narrative of Rob trying to put. Just answer the question. How many episodes have you watched, Pat? Let me just be quiet. How many have you watched?
Yo, I can easily say that I've watched at least 4 to 5 episodes of Young Justice.
And I'm telling you right now, from watching Young Justice, that's not enough episodes for you to have an opinion. To say Young
Justice
is childish.
That's Rob's opinion. Cool.
Yeah, so Evan watched 4 episodes of Attack on Titan. You feel like Evan can tell you if Attack on Titan is childish or not?
I watched 6 episodes.
I feel you.
Yeah, so what do you think? I'm not stop making that theme of Rob. No, it's really you.
I never said Rob this, Rob that. I'm saying, yo, Rob, you're saying I watched the show.
Like you can speak on Young Justice after watching.
I said, bro. I said based on what I watched. Press for that and everything. I literally said that. I can't comment on the whole season, on the whole series.
Okay, so why you not saying that?
Bro, I said from what I watched, I've seen moments in the show. If I've seen moments in the show that reflect childish moments, I can say that.
You feel like you can speak? I don't think you can speak on it because I can say, yo,
okay, that's what you think.
So I can say because of One Piece anime childish off of that, and I actually watched more episodes of One Piece than you.
Yo, can I just say one more thing too? Because we was talking numbers, so I was actually looking up the ratings for My Hero Academia and Rick and Morty. So whatchamacallit? So IBM gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 100%.
My Hero?
Yeah, My Hero. This is My Hero. Okay. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 100%. Whatchamacallit? And then Rating Graph gave it 8.2 out of 10. Now it says 4.9, 807 ratings. Right? Alright. That's a 4.9 based off of that. Now, Rick and Morty. It says Rotten Tomatoes gave it 94%. IBM gave it 9.2%. And now this is the only thing. The third rating, it doesn't have that. It just says Common Sense is 3 of 5. Now, as a 4.9 with 5,003 ratings.
But that's not nothing to do with viewership.
Like,
we're talking about viewership.
That's how many people.
But wait, what do you mean it doesn't have to do with viewership? That puts a part that's ratings, my nigga.
People that actually rate shit and their rating get higher than My Hero. That's gonna play the top point.
Viewership, though. That's what we're talking about.
Wait, you think ratings have to do with viewership?
He said that doesn't show viewership.
We're talking about viewership.
He said ratings. I heard him say ratings.
I said ratings.
He brought up
ratings. Ratings don't have to do with viewership.
Ratings don't have to do with all viewership. He said ratings and it's recorded. He literally said I
brought
have
up
to rate
ratings.
things.
And it says audience and he said viewership.
Rob, I know he said that. I never said that. He never said, "Yo, these are the ratings." I'm saying before the argument we was having was about viewership.
I said we're talking numbers in general.
We're talking numbers in general. So we're bringing up everything. That you can't say we can't bring. We're having a whole argument about everything.
I thought he was really.
And it says audience. It says audience rating. It says, and then the 4.9 rating. It says audience rating summary. So that does have to do with viewership. So because that's an audience. Like that's the people that are watching it. Yeah. How does that not have to do with viewership?
Jerry, quick question. Just because I'm not sure. So a lot of things I'm gonna pose this question.
How are you arguing for anime?
I'm not arguing anything. I didn't
just ask the question.
I want to say
even ask the question.
I said, yo, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm literally gonna ask a question. Robbie said, how are you gonna argue for anime? I'm not. I'm asking the question. But besides the fact, Jerry, so is there any cartoons that are we've only seen half of the season of Death Note, but I can tell you that it's definitely something that makes me think a lot. It's intriguing to me. Is there any cartoon that's like that? That makes in terms of a very in-depth storyline. From the ones that I've seen, it seems like the stories are dragged out slightly more in anime. From what I've seen in the ones I've seen.
On Team Anime.
Yo,
5 episodes.
Like I said, Young Justice is one of the greatest storylines. Is one of the dopest storylines that I've seen in the cartoon.
But why we didn't finish it? Cause that shit's trash.
It's not trash.
Cause that shit's trash. That shit's trash. Why we didn't finish it? We did 5 episodes. Niggas was like, yo, I don't know. We might have to cut this one. Cause that shit trash, nigga. We not gonna sit here and be like, yo, Young Justice is trash when we talk it.
Spider-Man, great storyline. There's a lot of shows that have great storylines. Avatar: The Last Airbender has a great storyline.
That's a great
storyline. Young Justice, great storyline. Justice League.
What you said before that?
I said Spawn.
Oh yeah. Spawn has a
you're arguing that you like cartoons more than anime?
Yeah, I watch way more cartoons. There's way more classics, and I have stats.
What do you watch now?
What do I watch now?
Yeah, what do you, when you have some free time? What do you sit down and watch now?
Documentaries, and I actually watch documentaries on cartoons.
Oh, okay. Wait. What? Patrick. Sometimes when you and Robbie are hanging out, right? Do you not watch anime shows?
For sure.
Oh, okay.
You know why though? I love that you set me up for that.
Okay.
Because for anime, I want to have as much knowledge as I had in cartoon, and the cartoons that I watch hours and hours. Anime doesn't even count to the amount of hours of cartoons I watch. So for me to be at the level of cartoons, I have to watch that with anime. So that's me trying to get my stats up to where my cartoon stats is. That's why.
But what cartoon do you watch now, though?
What cartoon I watch now? I watch Archer. I don't. What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about
From the last week, you want to know why I've been watching, my nigga?
I'm asking you.
Young Pharaoh, my nigga, on YouTube. I don't watch a lot of stuff. Right now, I'm watching stuff to learn. So I'm not a good example of that because I'm not watching anime.
So you're prioritizing or learning on the anime culture.
Yeah, because I don't know as much as.
So what are some of your favorite animes? Can you name them?
It's not hard for me. Rurouni Kenshin, Yu Yu Hakusho, Attack on Titan.
Okay.
Naruto, not yet. I mean, I like it, but it's not my top 4 yet.
Okay.
That's the top 4.
So can you name me some of your favorite cartoons?
Young Justice, Spider-Man, X-Men Wolverine, X-Men Wolverine!
No, X-Men Evolution!
That storyline's on fire! Yo, have you watched X-Men Evolution?
X-Men Evolution!
It's amazing.
That storyline's on fire!
X-Men Evolution and X-Men Wolverine and the X-Men. Wolverine and the X-Men, that storyline is crazy.
I never said that cartoons didn't have great storylines. I said shit I watched on anime got crazy on, nigga. It's crazy.
Let's not act like it's a walk around the park. Anime got a lot of catching up to do.
No. Anime is caught up and is a growing beyond
the
cartoon.
Why they come get Spider-Man in the 80s for? Why they come get Spider-Man help their franchise?
Because they're trying to grow it around the world.
How about that?
They're trying to grow it around the world.
Why they had to go get Spider-Man to try and turn him into big shit?
No. Why did they go to Japan to try to make a show there? That's a better question.
They hit up Marvel, Stan Lee, because he's killing the cartoons. Batman in the 60s cartoon, the 80s, he was killing it.
That's not Stan Lee. Batman's not Stan Lee.
Oh, my fault. You're right. Stan Lee, Spider-Man, 70s, they had him too.
He was killing it.
They had a cartoon. You remember Spider-Man and the Friends?
There was Spider-Man. There was the first one. there was Spider-Man and there was Spider-Man the Amazing Friends. There were multiple Spider-Man. We've seen multiple Spider-Man cartoons throughout the years. Until now, they're still making Spider-Man cartoons. They're still making Spider-Man animations. So much so that they even got it to, like, Spider-Man is huge in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've had the Spectacular Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, the animated series. MTV even had a Spider-Man. MTV had a Spider-Man series. And that storyline was fire. And it was actually like, it was catered to an older crowd. It was darker than the typical Spider-Man that we usually see. MTV.
In the movies? The storylines, have you seen the Batman, the joke, was it?
Batman the Killing Joke.
When the Joker killed the nigga. When he kills the Joker.
When he kills the Joker?
Fuck, what was that one? The Dark Knight Returns?
The Dark Knight Returns Part 1, the Dark Knight Returns Part 2.
And then, this is Rob facts, because I know I heard this before, but I'm not 100% positive. But Goku was somewhat inspired by Superman. Go look that up.
That's a fact.
Go look that up. And we talking about inspirations.
That's
inspired by Superman.
Inspired by
Japan. Superman came
they
before
took that and
Goku.
ran with it, my nigga.
Y'all niggas. Alright, so where y'all used to watch cartoons at? Cartoon Network?
I used to watch cartoons everywhere.
Fox Kids, Cartoon Network.
Fox, Cartoon
So
Network.
we also can't deny the fact that primetime television on these networks that we watched a lot of cartoon on dedicated their primetime watch time on anime derived shows. So like we talking about like for kids TV or WB, like we were watching the most popular shows on there were anime.
What?
Were Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Digimon. That's all anime. And let's talk. If we're talking about Cartoon Network, and we're talking about
let's not talk about
Toonami. Like when the prime time between 5 and 7, they were all anime shows. We was watching Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin, Zoids. All these shows that we grew up on and we love like daily. These are on prime time. We are on prime time, and they even dedicated a whole Saturday night to this. You know, where all kids were out of school and where they're most likely watching TV. You know what I'm saying? They're watching TV on Saturday nights, watching Toonami, and they were watching anime at those times because they knew that these anime shows were a lot better and bigger than what they already had in the United States.
I love how Joel likes to sway the narrative and just make it
sway.
He's saying like,
sway?
On Fox they had these shows were the popular shows. Then in Cartoon Network 5 to 6. Do you know why, my nigga? How many cartoon stations were there? That was the only channel that played anime. So for them to stick out, to compete away from them, how can we beat the people that play? Let's get these Japanese animation. Let's bring it here so we can at least get their new viewers.
And it worked. So we can't take that away from them.
It worked, but is Cartoon Network bigger than Nickelodeon? Is it bigger than Disney Channel? It worked. Yeah, it worked.
But Disney also they didn't focus on just cartoons though. They have a lot of live action shows. Cartoon Network.
Disney brand is huge of the cartoons from the Mickey Mouse, all that stuff. Cartoons is what blew it up. So it's a huge portion of it. It's cartoons.
Getting back to what you said with the primetime thing. Okay, so first of all right, you're right. At the time, they did play at primetime during the week. But one of the biggest things on Cartoon Network on Fridays was Cartoon Fridays, where they had a array of all cartoons. And now, let's talk about anime on Cartoon Network now. Okay, so first of all, let's be for real. Let's be for real.
The shit is called Cartoon Network. We got cartoons, nigga.
Okay, in that prime time area where they had Toonami. First of all, Toonami is only on Saturdays now. All that anime is only on Saturdays now. All the cartoons, Cartoon Network, they play all their cartoons throughout the whole week.
And them shits is trash.
Throughout prime time, they have Adult Swim. They even have the Adult Swim cartoons that they still play throughout the whole week.
Ask them this question: how many anime channels are there right now, in America at least?
I can't answer that question. Can you?
The only one that one that I know of that was actually on cable was Funimation. That's the only one that I know of.
But I don't know what anime channels on anime only channels. I don't know that, but I know that anything like Cartoon Network, Disney XD, they were all showing anime shows.
But Disney XD didn't have a huge focus on anime shows. They didn't have a huge focus.
But they did not play it.
They didn't have a huge focus.
They had way more cartoons.
And they didn't have anime for that long. They didn't have anime for that long. Disney XD.
And if you're bringing up Cartoon Fridays lasted about 4 years, and you know what I'm saying, 1999, 2003, and then we talking about Toonami, and Toonami is still going on now on the hottest
But
day.
you guys have one day of the week. You have one day of the week now.
And we can even look up to see what gets more views.
Yo, Joel, but my nigga, if I play one day of anime and all the other days is cartoon, what's moving my station?
And they have
the shit's called Cartoon Network, my nigga.
Adult Swim.
Switch it up on you.
No, we can't say that they only. You want to bring up Adult Swim? Adult Swim plays every night, and we can't deny the fact that they play
anime every night. They don't play anime every night.
They don't play anime every night.
No, Adult Swim plays anime every night. No, they don't. No, they do not.
If you go on, they definitely do.
They do not.
And when I grew up, they were definitely playing anime every night. I can't tell you right now, but if you go to the Adult Swim app right now, it's full of
Adult Swim. I'm gonna tell you straight up right now because
when I was younger, they played it though.
And I was big with Adult Swim. I'm telling you right now. First of all, Adult Swim, the Adult Swim portion of anime, they only played on Saturdays. Yes, Toonami was during the week, but Toonami wasn't a part of Adult Swim. Adult Swim, during the week, they had shows like home movies, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, that still goes on. Whatchamacallit, they had Loiter Squad on it. They had, whatchamacallit, there was another big show. They had Metallica. They had all these shows that they were playing during the week. All these cartoons that they were playing during the week.
And you're right.
Mind you, Robot Chicken, which is still going on, yo.
And you're right. You're 100% right.
They weren't playing anime during the week.
All right, cool. And I started the conversation. What do you guys think is better? Now what's bigger? Robbie turned into what's bigger, but cool. And that's fine.
And this year, I said, I do think cartoons overall is better from all of them.
Okay.
It's both for me.
And so I'm gonna. You name shows like Robot Chicken, Squidbilly, Jerry. Do you actually believe these shows, whether they're showing it on the primetime TV, do you believe Squidbillies and Robot Chicken is bigger than these animes that we talked about on this podcast today?
Robot Chicken has been going on for
Is it better, Jerry? Is it better?
First of all, you just said bigger. You didn't say better.
No, I didn't. I started this conversation saying it's better. Yeah, nigga.
Definitely said better.
One question I got you. I hate when people try to sway the narrative. You're telling me every anime show on Adult Swim and Toonami's fire too, my nigga?
Yeah.
It's better than Squidbilly. It's better than Chicken. Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Adult Swim.
Yes.
Adult Swim gave us Family Guy and the Boondocks, my nigga. They have Emmy award-winning shows on that network. On that network, they have Emmy winning
fucking Rick over here
on Adult Swim that are just cartoons, my nigga. Family Guy is on Adult Swim. It was big with Adult Swim and Fox. So we're airing new episodes on both of them at the same time, bro. The Boondocks, Adult Swim. What you call it? Rick and Morty that we just read beat out ratings in The Walking Dead was on Adult Swim.
You can bring Walking Dead up all you want, but that's not an anime.
But like, it was still killing, yo. Put it like this.
I brought up the Attack on Titan here. Like this Attack on Titan when season 3 episode 17 aired, it broke records for the most top 10 reviewed anime of all time.
Let's see the numbers.
And I'm gonna bring up Attack on Titan ratings. Y'all want to bring up ratings? By the way, I'm a critic too, so I think it's great too. I don't know how you're gonna classify these ratings over mine, but I'm a critic too, and I think it's awesome. Well, IMDb Attack on Titan 8.8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes 94%. TV.com 8.4 out of 10. 8.4 out of 10. So it's kind of similar to the Rick and Morty ratings you just brought up to me. I can bring up the other animes. Let's do the
Villain Saga. Like we have a lot of saga. Like we got this
Dragon Ball Z. Let's bring up Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super. Like.
Yo, so hold on, wait. Why are you doing that? So this is what Crunchyroll says, and this is for a Cartoon Network. Attack on Titan draws in 1.5 million viewers on Cartoon Network. The first episode alone of Rick and Morty, 2.3 million.
But that's on Cartoon Network, though.
What the hell? What are we talking about?
You know why I said that? Because that's one source.
That's one place.
That's one source.
And it originally airs in Japan. So you want to take those Japan numbers and add them to America? Like that's how we do it.
Those two numbers were American numbers. So what are you saying?
But wait, that's cartoon.
That's
in America.
That's not in America because you're saying Cartoon Network is one source that people from America can get it from. You're not basically factoring all the other sources that people in
Rick and Morty too. Then
like
I said the same thing. So Rick and
But
Morty.
you only get Rick and Morty in one place.
Rick and Morty's primary.
You only get it on Adult Swim.
Exactly.
Attack on Titan you could watch on Hulu when it simulcast is on Crunchyroll.
So you can't watch.
Wait. You can rock it.
No, you can't. Not when it originally comes out. No.
Yo, first of all,
I just want to educate everybody. When the show drops, they get those viewerships, correct? We all on the same page? Those numbers he got were from the day it dropped. The Rick and Morty does only get their viewership from Cartoon Network. That's completely false. Their viewership counts for when it's on Hulu and any other streaming
But
service.
Robbie, I don't think you're understanding. I don't think you're understanding.
saying.
I don't think you're understanding that when Rick and Morty drops, those episodes aren't available right away on Hulu or wherever place they're being showed.
that.
It only comes out that night and on the Adult Swim app. So based off those numbers, it only got 2.3 million views. Attack on Titan 1.4, and that was just in America. Now Attack on Titan is
So Rick and Morty's
an
only in
anime.
America too? Before we continue, Rick and Morty's only in America?
It only allowed that on one outlet. It only comes out in America.
So you could put 100% positive that it doesn't.
Yes,
come out
it don't
any
come
other
out nowhere
country.
else,
Okay, let's go
bro.
look
It
it
don't
up.
come out nowhere else.
Okay,
It's gonna come out on Adult Swim.
Okay, no. I'm saying you're saying you know for a fact Rick and Morty does not drop at all in other countries. That
No, I can't say if the other.
I'm transferring. But it does not drop on the same day in no other country, just in America.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like wait, hold on. Before I'm gonna correct myself. It comes out on Adult Swim. So if another country has Adult Swim, they may be able to watch it. I don't know. I'm not.
That's other country, and those viewerships won't count into the American one. So
okay, and if we look, I'm just saying 1.4 in America for an animation that derives and is most popular in Japan is pretty good. That's pretty good. Only $1 million off to be the hottest. What you're saying is the hottest cartoon in America, and this is. You don't think Attack on Titan is gonna be a lot bigger in Japan?
Is that what
you're not saying?
It's way bigger in Japan. That's the source.
I'm confused because when Attack on Titan, the actual episode dropped, it doesn't drop in America. The ones that are on that channel come out in dub, and it's way a couple months later. So what I'm saying is that's the same thing that happens with Rick and Morty when it drops somewhere else. So I can find Rick and Morty numbers when it drops later somewhere else because the Attack on Titan episode you're talking about, it does not drop in America that time. It doesn't. It doesn't drop in that station. The episode you're talking about, which I actually watched, come out way months later, man.
We're talking about dub, but people can
No,
still
we're
watch
talking
a sub
about,
though.
wait.
We're talking about
He was talking about Jay brought up the numbers.
Yeah.
Those from Cartoon Network or whatever station comes on in America.
Correct.
Joel said those numbers are from when it drops only in America. I said that's true, but those are numbers months after the original episode came out.
Yeah.
The episode he's talking about is literally when it drops that day. So what I'm saying is we could pull up numbers. The numbers for Attack on Titan, those are numbers like that for Rick and Morty because Rick and Morty drops other places months later, like the episode
you're talking about dub. Like the thing is, the sub drops in America the same time. You're talking about the dub. You're talking about the dub.
Joel, it doesn't.
Japan drops it. That's true.
I know that.
No. He was talking about. Because you said you brought up dub. You brought up dub. He brought up dub. That's why dub drops later on. Sub drops in America, and then we have to wait for dub. You brought up dub.
In most cases, when Attack on Titan was airing, let's say season 3, the sub did come out the same day.
In America?
It came out in America the same day.
On the channel we're talking about that you said.
No, it came out like, let's say we was watching Attack on Titan on season 3. It would come out the same day on Hulu.
But the numbers he's talking about was coming out in America on the channel. So what?
But
that's what he brought up.
But that's one thing I was bringing up too. I was also referencing that too because Rick and Morty, like we were saying, only comes out on Adult Swim on that day. You know what I'm saying?
From what you're saying, I don't agree with that.
Okay. And then there's other media outlets that release Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan came out on Adult Swim when it was dubbed. That's when they air it. And Attack on Titan when it aired in Japan, it gets the views from the station that it was aired on and the simulcast, or whether it comes out on Crunchyroll and whether it comes out on Hulu, the simulcast. So that we have to count those views too.
And like you have to add another thing too. Hold on, wait, another thing too. Another thing too, Joel. You have to understand is that like with streaming platforms like Netflix and Hulu, they work differently in different countries in America.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Like they work differently in different countries in America. So yes, they're like we could look it up, but like they could be Rick and Morty could be coming out the same day in those different countries on those streaming platforms. Just because it doesn't come out in America doesn't mean that it doesn't come out. Like we don't know. And at the end of the day, we don't know. We really don't know because we're here and because the streaming networks work differently. We really don't know if Attack on Titan is still coming out the same day on Hulu in Japan because it comes out on those stations.
No, I'm telling you that it does. I'm telling you that when Attack on Titan airs, it comes out on this station. Is it Attack on Titan? I'm not saying every anime does this. A lot of it's called simulcast. So the same day that it drops, a few hours later, it will come out on Hulu, wherever the platform allows it. So whether it be Funimation, Crunchyroll, or Hulu.
I have a Netflix article which says Rick and Morty and the Global Invasion continues. Netflix makes season 4 when it releases available in 30 plus countries when it comes out. So like I said, you didn't know that, and that actually does drop in other countries like that. So it's the same thing. Rick and Morty and Attack on Titan have the same exact format.
And that's what I'm saying with Japan. With Japan, because like here, yes, it drops on those platforms. That's what I'm saying. Here, yes, it drops on those platforms right away because the streaming networks, because streaming platforms work differently. Like in Japan, like I said, in Japan, we don't know if it drops the same day. We don't. Like here, yes.
Well, you talking about Rick and Morty?
No, I'm talking about.
I'm telling you that Attack on Titan comes out same day.
In Japan, you know that.
I'm not arguing that. I agree. I'm saying the same thing goes for Rick and Morty.
No, I believe that, but what I'm trying to say is,
what they're trying to argue, at least from what I'm seeing, because like I said, I don't know a lot about this, but from what I'm seeing, they're trying to say that Rick and Morty's primary audience is in the United States, and they're doing.
But they don't know that. That's not true.
But it seems like that's what they're trying to say.
And that's true.
Clearly, they're saying the anime audience isn't the primary audience.
But guys, I'm just gonna let you know in 2020. I'm gonna let you know in 2020, my nigga. Any show or television that's doing numbers like Rick and Morty, if you think they're not pushing their shit globally, I keep thinking like you think because it's in America.
You already said it's global. You already said it. You had the article. You already got the article, bro.
The point is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't count because Attack on Titan is from another country. That's facts. The same way anime infiltrated America, you think cartoon made-on companies ain't infiltrating other countries the same way? It's the same thing going on.
Yeah.
The same way we look at anime here, that's how other countries that don't have cartoons look at cartoons. And they infiltrating. So I'm basically saying it. I feel like you guys feel like Rick and Morty is not international and it is.
That would be blasphemy for me to think that Rick and Morty, as big as Rick and Morty is.
Opinion of because Attack on Titan is in Japan, it has that audience and it's in America. Because I'm like, both of them are just global things.
Yo, my thing is, right, if Attack on Titan is able to get 1.3 million just off of US, and US is not their primary place, imagine, I'm thinking like, we don't know. I'm not gonna say globally that, guaranteed Attack on Titan.
For cartoon, that's the same thing.
Yo, you didn't even let me finish my point, my nigga. I literally said that, we don't know which one has globally the most views, but I can say that Attack on Titan will have a good possibility of being at a tier of where Rick and Morty is because of the fact that it was able to get 1.3 domestically within US, and that's US, which is not its primary place.
But I'm saying the stats you're having doesn't correlate because because you're comparing a episode that comes out months later on Cartoon Network, and I'm saying we could compare that to the numbers of when Rick and Morty comes out somewhere else too, and the numbers could be way bigger than that.
My fault. I'm lost. I thought we was comparing the numbers of what Rick and Morty did first day and what Attack on Titan did.
But you're not. Attack on Titan didn't do that first day, Patrick. Like that's my point. The number he gave was when it comes out in America, which is later. It's not the day it comes out.
But he just said that it comes out simultaneously.
No, he said it comes out simultaneously, but not in that channel that he got the viewership from.
Oh, so
like what are we?
Yeah. I just found that's why I was confused. I thought it was doing the same numbers.
A great cool statistic. It says that and this is just ranked against every animation in the United States.
Okay.
So it says that Attack on Titan ranks at the 99.2 percentile in the animation genre. This means Attack on Titan has higher demand than 99.2% of all animation titles in the United States. So if Rick and Morty, this is in the United States. So if Rick and Morty is above that, cool. But in the United States, Attack on Titan is hotter than 99%.
That's the highest percentile.
99.2% than everything the United States has to offer.
Okay, and then that is just like you said. That's on an opinion, like you said. Because at the end of the day, I'm just going by numbers. Because at the end of the day, that person is saying that the actual storyline and all that, but who actually watches more? Because you could say at the end of the day, I compare it to music. Niggas could say, yo, niggas is checking for Gunna more. but 6ix9ine is doing numbers. So if we're going based off of numbers, which I go based off, I'm not gonna go off what people like based off numbers. More people watch Rick and Morty, whatever that's saying, cool. But from the numbers, when it comes to watching, people go watch. Some people, and I feel like when it comes to anime, also remember the audience. Anime has way more younger audiences than I feel like, and Rick and Morty has way more older. They have both, but I just feel like Rick and Morty. I feel like there's way more older people watching Rick and Morty than kids, and I feel like there's more kids watching Attack on Titan than older people. But they both have both audiences. But if you see what I'm saying, kids will express that more, will do those surveys more rather than the adults that cartoon is made for. And then again, Rick and Morty's Attack on Titan's adult shit too.
Yeah, that's why I say I feel like Attack on Titan is such an adult show that I can't even automatically presume that it doesn't have as much adult audience as much as Rick and Morty. It's like those are they both cover two very adult shit.
That's crazy. Rick and Morty's an adult cartoon, my nigga. Like,
whoa, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Clearly, I said both of them are two mature adult things. Like they both.
$500 that more adults watch Rick and Morty than Attack on Titan because the actual cartoons cater to adults.
We can look up this.
It's called an adult cartoon. It's catered to both. You're not. Rick and Morty is not catered to kids at all. Just put it like that. Rick and Morty is not catered to kids at all.
I don't know. Like to me,
Rick and Morty is a kid show. That you recommend to kids?
But
kids will watch it. We all grew up and watched shows that's not meant for
Attack on Titan is also TVMA.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
I'm
is
rated
look into the
TVMA.
statistic about who watches more and more adults watch Rick and
It
Morty.
was all kids watching shit that was adults. Like, what are you talking about?
Look at the ratings,
No,
and
that's
if
not-
it's rated mature.
Stop saying because you were doing.
I didn't say
That's
every
not
kid.
all
Why you
kids
keep
were not
saying
watching
every? I never
adults.
said every nothing. I just said that, as kids,
No,
so
I wasn't. No, nigga, no. So stop saying we. You're not speaking for me. That's not.
You didn't watch
anything
adult
for me.
content as a child.
No, I was not watching adult cartoons as a kid, nigga. How many times do I have to say no, nigga? I wasn't watching Simpsons. I wasn't watching Family Guy. I wasn't watching that, my nigga. Kids,
Okay.
not every kid was watching it. That's not normal stuff.
I never
for
said
kids to
every
watch.
kid,
I'm
by
not
the
saying
way.
kids didn't watch it, but that wasn't catered to kids, and I never watched that. There's a
So-
lot of people like me that never were watching other cartoons, not adult
Okay,
cartoons.
but not every kid is watching Attack on Titan, my nigga. That's what I'm saying. Not every kid's watching it.
I think there's more kids watching Attack on
Think.
Titan than Rick and Morty.
Yo, where can I find this statistic?
Like that's it. I'm not saying that both of them could be adult.
They
By
keep telling me this shit.
anime, I know for a fact Rick and Morty, Attack on Titan storyline. If I was a kid, I would be able to watch Attack on Titan way more than Rick and Morty, my nigga. As a kid, I wouldn't even be able to say half the shit these niggas are saying.
Now the thing is, as an adult, I feel like I'm able to follow the storyline of Attack on Titan because of my age. I still get lost now. I can only imagine
I
a
was a kid, I
child.
could watch Attack on Titan.
I'm talking about me, Jerry. That's what I'm saying. Like me, as storyline, I get lost. You
I'm
niggas
just
see me
saying.
say some dumb shit.
I'm just saying. There's a lot of kids. There's a lot of kids because here's a great anime with a great storyline that we were all kids that we were watching not everybody here was watching, but a lot of kids were watching was Naruto, and a lot of people were able to follow that storyline easily. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that had a great storyline. So I don't know if I necessarily.
Bro,
agree.
even I told you and I tested multiple times that I wouldn't be able to digest the storyline of Naruto if I wasn't the age I'm at right now. I told you I'm not.
Yeah, we consider it Rick and Morty an adult, but it is rated 14 and older. So, like, regardless of what, like, they're both Attack on Titan and Rick and Morty. They cater to the same audience.
And I literally said, this is recorded. I literally said,
you did.
I literally said, even if both are catered to the same audience, I said if I was a kid, and I'm assuming more kids could watch Attack on Titan than Rick and Morty. Attack on Titan is on nonstop action and all that, where Rick and Morty is more dialogue funny. It has action scenes and stuff, but Attack on Titan has way more action. I think that is catered to more to kids. More kids would be attracted to watching a show like that rather than Rick and Morty.
And as a kid, my fault. And as a kid, there's a lot of jokes that would go over your head as a kid.
Of course,
Like,
but that's
I think
like a
as
Red
a
and
kid- as a
Stimpy.
kid,
There's
it would
mad
be
shows like
easier-
that though.
As a child, it would be easier to follow a story, and understand what's going on within Attack on Titan versus trying to understand the satire and the jokes. That's why.
I
think
think satire I don't even get from Rick and Morty.
And
there's moments in Attack on Titan that niggas be lost, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Here's another thing. There's a lot of deeper
digestible.
meanings. There's a lot of deeper meanings in some of these Rick and Morty episodes. Like, for example,
It's not deep meanings in Attack on Titan, though.
But
That's 'cause
not
it's
like Rick and Morty, though.
That's 'cause it's comedy, though. That's
If you had a kid, what show would you prefer your kid to watch at 14? If it's 14, Rick and Morty or Attack on Titan, and why?
That's a tough one.
If you had to, though,
if they had to watch one, I would say I would have them watch Rick and Morty, only because I know what goes down in Attack on Titan is very bloody. And you know what I'm saying? Even though there's some of that in Rick and Morty, but it's more playful. Well, Attack on Titan is a more serious nature to killing people, and that's why. To me, that's why I would say Rick and Morty.
I just think we're forgetting. So all the sexual shit that happens in Rick and Morty,
that may go over. Just like y'all said, there's a lot of things y'all don't understand in Rick and Morty. That may go over his head more than I'm making my kid watch.
But a kid probably wouldn't want to watch that because they wouldn't understand it.
But that's the thing, though, Jerry. That's a hard question to ask because the thing is like. Both of them are at the same level of what they could watch, right? So it really comes down to my son. Like, yo, do you like fucking comedy shows or do you like action shit?
So
that's a preference thing, though. That's a preference thing.
Now, I had a kid and had Attack on Titan and Rick and Morty. Attack on Titan is gruesome. Is only in the attacks, the fights, and all that. And Rick and Morty, all the wild shit he's saying, all the inappropriate shit, I would not want my kid hearing all that shit at 14, my nigga. That's kind of low-key crazy. Attack on Titan, all he's saying is fighting in depth. I'd rather him see that than Rick and Morty still has the fighting, attacking too. They still body niggas and all that in that show. And on top of that, they're mad sexual. And some shit, put it like this. Joel, remember when we watched that Rick and Morty episode and my cousins were there?
I remember. That's exactly what I was thinking about.
You literally said, yo, yeah, that's really crazy. You would never say that for any Attack on Titan episode. So I feel like, think about with a kid. Would you want your kid to watch that episode?
Yo, that's why you're going to be a good father, bro.
To piggyback off of what you said, Robbie, you have to understand, there is because there is gore and stuff in Rick and Morty, but also on top of that, there's way more nudity. Even though they bleep it out, there's way more nudity, and they're way more vulgar.
Way
more. Yo, it's 6 times more inappropriate, for sure. If I'm being a great father, I'm 100% not letting that happen. Of course, bro.
I'm saying, Attack on Titan, you let your kid watch Attack. I would let my kid watch that.
That'd be the first.
Yeah, like yo, Rick and Morty.
What my kid's gonna be doing after watching Rick and Morty? I'll actually be scared.
Rick and Morty, they be cussing, especially if you don't want your kid to be cussing though. Like yo, they
but you know kids get influenced.
Rick and Morty.
I just want people to understand why this conversation occurred because we were talking about what is more catered towards kids, and you're saying that what did you literally said something. What did the last thing you just said?
I said Rick and Morty's a joke.
Yeah, but it's a joke, but it's still inappropriate jokes.
Yeah, you're right. But I feel like it's a difference between I'm a playful cartoon. This is all a joke. Rather than I'm killing people. I want to kill people. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference.
But it's
like it's a playful cartoon that's very vulgar and very nudity, my nigga. Like it's kind of. Like it's not even just about the deeper meaning. Like how much they swear in Rick and Morty.
How many households swear? Like that doesn't make you a bad person.
I just can't speak about what we watching that episode, but the things they were saying
as a child
in that episode, and you walked in on your son hearing that. Well, I know it's not one Attack on Titan episode that will make you feel the way you feel if you walk down your son watching that episode.
Yo, I'm a real nigga. I'll easily admit that. I would admit that there's it's not even a question that Rick and Morty is way more inappropriate to show a kid than motherfucking Attack on Titan. I'm showing my kid Attack on Titan than Rick and Morty all day. But the fact of the matter is, each one of those shows, I feel like could easily be that show to have more adults that watch this shit. Like, I can't say that Rick and Morty, because it's so inappropriate, easily has more adult audiences.
You know why I can say that? Because more parents will be on the prowl of making their kids not watch that shit. Absolutely. That's why. And I feel like with Attack on Titan, is a lot of parents was like, oh, action fighting. But what Rick, like, I remember, I tried to watch South Park, and my parents literally heard me. That's why I never watched it again. It was, my parents, if somebody came in and they seen getting shot up, all that cartoons, getting shot up and stuff, but hearing certain stuff, you'd be like, what do you want? Like, what the hell you? And that's what I'm saying. I feel like more parents will protect their kids from watching Rick and Morty, which will cause Attack on Titan to have more kid viewership than Rick and
that's a household thing, though. That's a hassle. I was able to watch South Park and everything I wanted easily.
But here's the thing, too. If you know,
I wouldn't know that because when I grew up around my nigga, all the people I was watching. Yeah,
but here's my thing too. Even with anime too, because like this is how my parents saw. Even if, let's say, my parents think every anime is just Dragon Ball Z. Like that's a fact. Like my parents saw every anime. So like even if I was watching a crazy anime, they wouldn't think anything of it because they're just like, well, this is just like whatchamacallit, Dragon Ball Z, and I don't mind you watching Dragon Ball Z. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whereas like these like Rick and Morty, South Park, even Family Guy, like some of the stuff they say is just like, wait, what?
But can we also say that like like your parents also understood what they were saying more, like, or heard about it more on the news? Like South Park. South Park is a good example. Like everybody knew South Park was probably some shit you should keep, and that's rated TV MA. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so that's some shit that you probably should not let your kids watch.
Nah, my dad did not know what it was. He just walked in.
My parents
I can't
did.
repeat what the episode said, but it was very awkward. Like it's some like I wouldn't feel comfortable watching. Best way to put it, if you had to watch these shows with your parents, as a kid, which one of those shows you'd watch? Would you prefer to go to them? Which one would be less awkward for you to watch with them?
Not even a question.
Yeah, it's not.
And that's what I'm saying. It's awkward too. Like it's very awkward for a 14-year-old. I'm just saying.
But there's animes that make you feel mad awkward, bro. We see it.
Sexual, like
Yes, sir. We see mad fucking animes, titties jiggling and shit. Like there's animes that are very inappropriate, and that's the point.
Because I'm not talking about the way they look. Because in anything, there's like that. I'm talking about literally words. The wording
that's the point though, because the wording in the anime will be very inappropriate, but we don't know that because it's subtitles. That's what I'm trying to say. My mom,
if you watching dub, you're
completely wrong, my nigga. What about dub? We're talking about watching in America dub.
If you all right, bet. So Rob, right now you're telling me, right? If we're in a room, parents and all, you play Dead Man's Wonderland and shit like that. There's not gonna be moments that's like gonna be awkward.
And I'll tell you right now, that Rick and Morty, I'd rather play that than that Rick and Morty episode any day of the week. Those shows are turned up. Like it's not comparable. I would rather watch Chess than that Rick and Morty episode of South Park.
Yeah,
I'd rather watch two. It's not that crazy.
But that's what I'm saying though.
It's not that turned up. It was nine.
That's the box right there. That I feel like we don't like just like you said. You're researching to see all the different animes out there. And then so we don't even know all the animes that's out there that's very, very vulgar to Rick and Morty.
But cartoon, that's the art of it though. The whole point is about the vulgar content and the way that's what I'm saying is I'm confused because adult cartoons, that's literally what they thrive on, is using that type of comedy like Archer and stuff. That's
and I agree with that. I'm saying that there's animes, but we don't know that because anime we see anime that's food wars and all that shit.
From all the animes you name, none of them are like that. From every anime we name, every single one, everyone named it, not one of them are like that. How about that, Pat?
That Man's Wonderland.
Like that.
That Man Wonderland is definitely for us.
No,
not like South Park. No, it's not. It's not like South Park.
It's not even like Rick and Morty.
Because South Park is not like Rick and Morty though.
South Park is a different entity. They're
both.
both.
South Park is not. South Park is not
like
like.
South Park is vulgar to the point of like I feel
insulting.
They write it to be vulgar. Like they make it like I want to shock the shit out of you.
Insulting.
But that Rick and Morty episode, if you think they were trying to shock people with that Rick and Morty episode, yo, put it like this.
Bro, there was a human centipede in South Park. Like yo, there's some different shit that goes on in that show.
I know what you're talking about, but I really don't think that I don't think they're that similar. I think South Park goes way beyond.
No, I don't think
and
to say
that,
I think that they're both, but I think that they both have a level of like vulgar.
And one's like 7.
Yeah.
Cool. It's still below anime. That's all. He's saying there's anime on that level. I'm like, there's no anime that's like that.
We don't know that though.
We watch.
Okay, yes, facts.
I'm gonna give. I'll even give Rick and Morty an 8, and I'll definitely give South Park a 10.
Rick and Morty is definitely not an 8.
In terms of how
like
I'm like compared to what South Park's done.
Like, honestly,
like,
South Park should be in a different lane. Like
yeah,
South Park should be like, yo, the complete ignorance of ignorance. Like I'm gonna disrespect everything and everybody. I'm not gonna only disrespect one though. I'm gonna pick everybody, everything, and I'm gonna violate it at the highest peak and see what it takes for me to get like. I feel like South Park was like that was the only show that I think my parents, even as a kid, was like.
Stay away from,
Like, and they let me watch a lot of shit, but that right there was like.
I'll tell you right now, if we were kids and Rick and Morty came out, I feel like they would say the same thing.
No.
This episode of Rick,
I'm not a kid now, so
if you're a kid, Joel, at 14, I'm telling you, the stuff we watch Rick and Morty, we have.
No, I'm an adult now, and I'm still like South Park is OD,
South Park,
bro.
I'm not saying
No, nobody's taking anything away from South Park.
It's just saying, South Park is 10 and Rick and Morty is 8. 8 is still crazy.
No, I can understand not wanting my kids to watch Rick and Morty. It's an alcoholic. Grandfather brings his kid on these crazy missions to different places where some of them be completely ignorant. I feel you, but it's like I don't know.
He's flipping planets.
It's nowhere near as bad.
That gets to my other point of how I think cartoons is better because there is a cartoon genre that has a number one show, meaning like there's a vulgar cartoon that's number one everyone knows. There's an action one that everyone knows. I don't feel like I could be wrong, but I don't feel like an anime is the same. I don't feel like what's the most popular vulgar anime?
Oh, I got it right here. So it's Panty and Shocking Gatterbolt. They said like the series is for fans who love sexual humor. You just said it.
I'm asking y'all from what y'all from our knowledge.
You just from Black Lagoon. So Black Lagoon's on this list right here, and I watched Black Lagoon. I attest to you guys can say that. You guys all know I bring it up all the time. That shit is
and one thing about that shit is a lot of this vulgar. Yeah, hold on, and a lot of the
they talk about very dirty shit. Yes, it's for adults.
But it's like Rick or Morty vulgar and South Park vulgar. Is what you're telling me.
No.
Alright. I'm not saying that animes are not vulgar. They're not on that level of vulgar, my nigga.
I'm just saying.
We don't know that though. We don't know that. And a lot of these shows like South Park and Rick and Morty, like this shit's in English, so we understand these jokes. A lot of these comedies is like phrases and a lot of stuff that only we catch because we grew up in the culture. I'm sure there's a lot of jokes in animes that we can't catch because it doesn't translate well in English.
The ones that are in dub? A lot of anime isn't dub, so what about the ones that are in dub?
Even if they won't translate the same, nigga. They'll change them.
But at the end of the day, my whole situation with that is like, it's opinion. And at the end of the day, because Patrick was like, yo, you guys are saying that Attack on Titan comes out like, damn, I forgot what the fuck.
And I really don't think that there's any, for the animes that we know that are hot, like the hottest animes that we just named, right?
Yeah.
Versus two of the hottest cartoons, Rick and Morty and South Park. Mm-hmm. Yeah. None of them, like, to that level of how vulgar it is, none of them are on that level.
But that's what we know, though.
But wait, that's what I remember what I'm saying. The whole argument we're having is about that because you just said there's no cartoon that's serious. You don't know that either. So everything we're saying, and are we gonna have an argument?
But why? I never said that there's no. I said I don't know. I haven't watched. I said I haven't watched.
You said there's no cartoons that is literally recorded. You said that, my nigga. That's why I responded. Maybe you forgot, but you said that, and that's why I responded away. And I literally said, yo, Pat, you haven't watched and you try to say Young Justice is, and I'm like, yo, you didn't watch enough episodes. So my whole point is you can't use that on me because you're trying to avoid that when you guys bring up a point. Because there's cartoons that are serious. You guys probably never seen it. I can say the same thing.
Yo, but then I said that the series. I said, but then you can run it back too, Mr. Recorded. I said, yo, that there's serious, mature cartoons. But I said compared to the ones that I've seen, that I haven't seen a cartoon that is that.
From the animes I've seen, there's no vulgar. So why are you correcting me if I can say the same exact thing?
Nigga, and you saw about bringing up stats. I said, okay, yo, there's animes that's reflected right here on this fucking article that says that's vulgar.
That's why I'm saying, how can you bring something up? He's bringing up something that you're bringing.
I said I watched it.
For my arguments, I could look up shit too. So what are you talking about? My whole point, I'm saying, are we going based on what we know? Are we looking? Because if so, let me go look up.
But you guys brought up stats earlier, so why can't I bring?
Shows I know. You just brought up a show we know and know out there. We said what show is vulgar, and he literally looked up. Oh, this show is vulgar. You didn't even watch it. How you tell me about show you didn't even watch it?
Yo, I mean, at the end of the day, articles is articles. So if a person's over here reflecting that it's vulgar.
Every show I brought up, I know what I'm talking about.
And I watched Black Lagoon, and Black Lagoon is very vulgar as well.
I won't say what I'm saying. You brought up a random show no one watched. I'm like, like I could pull up an adult cartoon that none of us watch that's serious too. Like, what are we based on? What we
and then I wouldn't sit here. Yo, the thing is, if you would have brought up a serious cartoon, I'm not gonna sit here like, oh, it's not serious. That you brought up the article, so cool. That's what it is, my nigga.
I didn't do that when you did that. So my point, I'm saying, if we're doing that, I could go back and do that too. I'm saying, how?
So because you did it, I can't do it. I'm sorry you didn't do it, but I did it. That's what I'm saying.
And that's the point I'm saying. I don't understand this debate. I thought we were debating of what we knew of the shows we're talking about. Because when I said that to you, I could have brought it up too. And I'm saying you're not valid because you brought up a show you never watched.
And then I brought, but the thing is, I brought the show that I did watch. But I brought the show that I did watch.
The way we're arguing, no one's right.
No, but but nobody's right because we were off rip. We was talking about what do you think is better.
And what we know.
Yeah.
Not once have we brought up a show we never watched. He literally brought up a show he never watched, my nigga. I'm like, if we're doing that,
because you said
I've never seen Primetime.
You literally said there's no vulgar anime.
Yeah.
And he said there's no serious, and just like I said, he said the same thing when he said.
And you could have pulled up an article and said, "Yo, this is a serious one, my nigga."
That's what I'm literally saying. I'm saying, yo, that's what we're doing. I could have done that.
Okay, word.
I'm saying that doesn't make sense because that's why.
How does that not make sense? Because you didn't do it. Just because you didn't choose to do it doesn't mean I can't do it.
I'm doing it for the people. If I don't know a show, I'm not gonna just go look up a show that I never watched and use it as a part of my opinion. If we're all doing that, then that's fine. When it happened to you, I didn't do that, and I could have. And I'm saying, how are we arguing? If so, let me go bring up the order.
But I didn't restrict you from doing that. That's what I'm saying. You feel me? I never said that.
And I literally asked you, how are we arguing? I literally said that.
Yeah, and then I said,
what we know, are we bringing up shit? Because I could bring up, and everyone's wrong at this point in this conversation. Because you niggas don't know everything about cartoons, and we don't know everything about anime.
Of course not.
But that's fine.
This all derives off opinion.
What do we?
Yeah, I just want to know if we bring up random shit. Let me know.
All right, word. Yo, Rob.
up.
This is how I argue.
This would have been all over the place if niggas was just looking up random stuff. That's what I'm saying. I thought
that's not a random thing. Cool. You brought up a point. You said, "Yo, there's not a fucking anime that's as vulgar as this."
And so, you also said, I can repeat when you said.
We're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do this over. Hold on. I've literally been saying the same shit for like 20 minutes.
We're
not gonna run in a circle.
I did what you did.
But I did something different.
Hold on.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, say something, Jerry.
You're mad because I brought up an article.
Can I say something real quick?
Nobody can hear. Nobody knows what y'all saying right now. Let's go.
At the end of the day, cartoons are better. That's it.
Look up serious cartoons.
That's all I wanted to say. Cartoon maniac mob. Shout out to
so
everyone.
it got a little hectic in there.
It gets heated.
So to conclude, Jerry, why do you like anime? I mean, why do you like whatever you like? And then we'll go down the line. Why
do I like what I like? Because cartoons have presented me with satire. It's presented me with It's presented me with comedy. It's presented me with great storyline. I've seen darkness in cartoons. I've seen a lot of humor, like comedy, a lot of comedy in cartoons, and I just like the versatility between all of that within cartoons and the nostalgia that cartoons holds, me growing up on them and just being like, and saying that cartoons have made me the animated person that I am today, like even with like voice changes and acting stupid and trying to interpret and like impersonate different people and stuff. Sense. Like, yo, so like I even asked one time, I went into a meeting freshman year of college, and somebody, and Joel, you might remember this. It was funny. I think it was a meeting for an organization I was in, and one of my friends was like, yo, Jerry, what always goes through your mind? And I was like, cartoons.
I'll remember that, but that sounds like something you would say.
But yeah, that's it.
Why I like cartoons, the point I was trying to make before I was rudely interrupted was cartoons has a lot of genres that have number one shows that we all know, from vulgar shows to fighting cartoons to drama cartoons to serious cartoons. And the serious cartoon that I actually could bring up that we actually watched, which I didn't just bring up randomly, is Star Wars Clone Wars, which is actually a very serious cartoon animation show, and it's considered one of the greatest cartoon animation shows listed, saying that the graphics, what they did, how they took it to new levels. So remember the Attack on Titan thing Joel was talking about? Star Wars could compete in that. Star Wars Clone Wars could compete in that. It's critically acclaimed. It won Emmys. And also, it's also considered a very serious show, and we actually watched that. So I didn't bring up a show that we didn't watch.
No, we actually watched one episode of that.
That's more than a show that.
No, because you came at him for saying Young Justice.
Don't do that.
So don't speak on Clone Wars and then clown on him for speaking on.
You can't discredit me in that.
We can't do that.
That's cool. Because he literally just did that. Like, what are you niggas just talking about? That's why I responded the way I responded. He literally just did that.
Yeah, all I want to say is too.
We didn't say nothing about
what. On another note, all I want to say is too is that Evan's capping because he acts like his favorite show is a Fairly Odd Parents.
I just don't like saying that. You brought up when I said he couldn't do that. What was
Young Justice?
Young Justice. Did he not? What I'm responding to is him bringing up a show that he knows nothing about. That's why I brought up Star Wars, because I said, what are we doing, Joel? And I brought it up, so how are you going to tell me I can't do it?
Yeah, but we chalked that conversation.
But he brought up that conversation, but he brought up another one. I'm not so you brought up, he did it twice in a row. He did that, then he brought up the random show he did, and that's why I finally said, okay, let me pull up my show and bring it up. I literally had a whole argument saying, are we arguing like that? And then you you just told him not to do that. Yes, and then you niggas just said, he did it again, so I'm gonna do it too. He did it.
But you also said there was no such thing as a vulgar anime.
It's two different conversations.
Yeah, so he looked it up. Although he doesn't know about it, Bio said that's what it is. So he used it as a reference.
Vulgar anime. I said the reason I like cartoons. There's no number one in every genre. I said like there's no number one vulgar anime. We know you guys. How do you know there's no number one? I didn't say there's none. I said there's no popular one out there that everyone knows. The reason why I like cartoons, for every genre cartoon, you at least know one popular anime in that genre, and that's why I like cartoons, because every genre has at least one Dragon Ball Z in that lane, if you get what I'm saying.
But then we're just diving into anime, so we don't know that.
I don't agree with that, but
me either. I don't.
I don't agree with that.
That's fine.
There's no cartoon that has better action than any anime show.
Star Wars, Clone Wars definitely is up there.
You watched it?
Yeah, I seen fights. Yes, I seen a lot of fights from it, actually. I did.
And it's better fight.
Did.
It's better fights than a lot of
The Dark Moth is one of the greatest fights I've ever seen, Jerry. And you can co-sign that too. I swear, everything I love is up there with anime fights.
Alright, is it better than every anime fight you ever seen?
It's top. It's definitely top 3. I'll tell you that. That fight is like on everything. I'm not lying. That fight is fire. That's why I was like, Darth Maul should be a villain for me watching it. From watching that, and I've seen that fight scene. The graphics, Jedi's is actually better. Is probably better fighting than the actual movies. That's why Star Wars Clone Wars is so fire. The fight scenes.
Okay. Well, so that's why you like cartoons.
Yes.
That was your final answer. All right. While I like anime is my thing. I love anime. I feel like anime delivers what I want more consistently. I like a more serious story. I like a psychological thriller. Something that's like, as I'm watching it, I'm super wondering what's gonna happen next. I don't like something that's too kiddish. I like when the animation actually looks great, like great fighting. The artwork is great. The music in the background is really good as well. That's the kind of stuff that I'm into, and I feel like anime checks off those points more consistently, and character development for the overall cast. I feel like in cartoons we don't get a lot of that. The animation in a lot of the cartoons that we watch is pretty trash too, so nothing like that is comparable to what we see in anime.
Yo, as y'all seen, to be honest, if I had to pick one based on just of what I've seen more of, I'd have to say cartoons, just because I've actually watched those for well over 10.
I couldn't tell this whole episode.
What you want? You wanted me to fight for you, bro? Sorry, you had your own
I wanted you to
back.
fight for what you know.
I was asking questions. So yeah, basically, I could say that I'm interested in what anime has though. The ones that I have watched, I've been intrigued with. I rock with them. We even watched Yu Yu Hakusho back then. I fucked with that. So I'm interested to see. I'm gonna watch more anime, and if we have this conversation at a different time, maybe I'll have a different answer. But for right now, I gotta keep it with cartoons just based off viewership alone.
Yeah, and me growing up, I could say cartoons is it. Like at the end of the day, it's a milestone in my life and stuff. Like at that time, never would have appreciated anime compared to cartoons. But right now, as a man, anime caters everything to what I need to. Fights, fucking cinematography, like the actual style of it, like the animation is very artwork to me. I think it's fire. Character designs, everything's just like on a whole nother level for me. And I mean, if you guys have a cartoon that's up to par to these animes that I feel like is God tier, that shit put me on. I'm not afraid to be put on to like dope ass cartoons, but that's what I'm on right now.
So we see here, guys, the this shit's pretty divided, and anime versus cartoons, you know, is not really. It's just based on preference. You know, not one is better than the other. It just depends on what you like.
Right, preference.
Depends on what you like, man.
Super opinion.
Me too.
So that settles it at
The round table.